Okay, so moving along, and I think this will be only one video. The last part of it, like how to select colors, make shapes, gradients, and fill. Those are not too bad. Those are fairly easy to be done. But how to select colors, it depends on what you're working on. So if you're looking like, I would say an example would be you want to have like this color for your text, something like that. Here's how you do it. You can actually do it multiple ways, but a really quick way is that if you activate the actual color palette, or the color picker they call, you can go in here and just go and select that. You see that this is the color that I just click on it. If I go in here, I'll always change the color, and if I want to go back to here, I'll change that. So let's say I'm going to choose this color. Okay, so this is how easy it is to just select a color. And let's say that you wanted to write some. I'm not going to go into order, but anyways, let's just like fill the text. Okay, so you want to have some text somewhere. You click and you activate the text. So if you press T onto your keyboard, it will activate it. And as you can see, like the color is still there. Okay, and now I'm going to say just for business, so I'm going to say like Mr. T business card. So it didn't take this color. But why is because if you look over here, when I activated the text, this was the color that I had. It does the same thing. So if I'm going to go in here and just select all of this, and I'll make it bigger to show you like, okay, this is what you can choose from the actual text. All the typography, there's a lot of them. Okay, into Photoshop, that's amazing. Regular, if you have all of those, it depends on what you're going to choose. You get more options. Some are not as much, and then you can actually have the size. But watch this, like you can just go in here and select the presets if you want to, or if you scroll over to the actual T where it is, you can click and drag and you can go smaller, or if you go to the right, you can actually make it bigger. Okay, and I'm going to just make this to be bold. Bold, there we go. And you can actually make it sharp if you want to. None, and you can play with this just to have fun and just try it out. But here's where I'm going to choose a color. I'm going to click onto this, and then again, it's to select the color. So I'm going to go in here and select this color. Now it's just change and press OK. Now, other times, like you can actually have, like when you're done, you have that. Don't forget to say, I want to approve this. Okay, so commit any current edits. Click onto that, and now you get it. Now you see that you created a text. I added layer 1 activated, which was the guitar, and then I'm going to go right to the top. I'll move it right to the top, and if I would take care of that, the workflow that I mentioned before, here's another example. I know it's the guitar, but it's going to write the guitar, because if I go to maybe like 50 layers, I want to see that. This will be penguin head, and actually this is the guy over here, as you can see. Okay, he's in front of the guitar, like right over here. If you look over here, he's in back of the guitar. Now he's in front, and I'm going to go in here. Let's say penguin fin, and then this is the text. Okay, so you have that, and you're also talking about this. I'll show you also, like if you have the special effects. An example would be like into this text, you can actually add a drop shadow, which will make it the text come back like a little bit forward. And I'm going to make that to be standard, normal, I mean. And I'm going to choose the color, maybe like a darker. I'll click onto this guy to have a color of it. Whoops. Cancel. Cancel. Activate the actual text before doing that. And I'm going to say drop shadow. Now you can see, as you want to see preview, you can actually click look onto the screen, onto the actual text. You can see what happens, and you can actually change the color to say, well, you know what? No, if it's a shadow, it's usually gray or really black. Okay, so I'll keep it as that, and you can play with this like multiply if you want to say normal, and you can actually say the distance if you want to. Like, okay, I can make it go as this far or whatever. Okay, so it depends on what you want to do. So I'm gonna go like right over here, really small. Okay, and then press OK. So that's one of them, like I showed you, like the color and also the text. Now how to make shapes. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to create like, this is the shape tool, whoops, this guy over here. If you click and hold on to your click, you have all of those shapes, and you have also custom shape if you want to. I'll go right away into the custom shape. You can see that you have all of these tools. Click onto this, and you'll have, click onto this guy, and you have all of these options. also you have all of these other options if you want to. Okay, how does a create a shape works? So I'm going to go in here and just use a rectangular shape. It's almost like the same thing as text. Okay, so if I click and drag and use a text, it creates its own layer. What I like about this one is just that you have a color palette right over here, and then you have what we call a mask, which is revealing the actual color. So you can actually just, after you've done it, you double click onto this and say, you know what, I want to have, let's say, probably this kind of bluish color. Press OK. And I want it to be like this and put in something like that. So you can actually have multiple shapes, and just to show you the custom shape is that if you go in here and let's say I wanted to put the Quebec shape, if I hold on to shift also, it makes it like in the perfect kind of ratio. If I let go of the shift, you see that this is going to be like stretch, what we call, or actually squash. Okay, so if I hold on to shift, it'll make it perfect, and it'll be the color that we have over here. You can always change that, as you see on top over here that you have. These two are merged together. Okay, so if you wanted to do that differently, you just have to create a new layer. After that, you have how to use a gradient and fill. Okay, so the gradient and fill. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make a selection. So I'll show you two things. Okay, so how to it says to you like how to constrain brush stroke with a selection or either a fill. So if I'm going to go in here, I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to put this part at the bottom over here, just like a different kind of color. I'll make a selection like this. The gradient tool or the paint bucket tool is this guy. So if I go and I have this color right away, you make a selection, you click in the actual, well, a new layer, and now you have this selection tool. Click in there, it only goes into that selection. Okay, so if you want to use the gradient tool, if I go in here and I use the gradient tool, you get this. Now watch this. If you click onto that, you have all of those option of gradients. Super annoying. This one and this one. These ones are really super annoying. Those are the most common ones that we're going to be using. Okay, so this is going from the foreground color. This is the foreground color to the background color. So this is the background color. This is the foreground color to being sort of like transparent or invisible. Okay, that's what it's called. So I press OK. I'm going to change the color over here just to make sure that you're going to see what's the difference. So I'll put it blue, press OK. And if I go in here and just select from there, you see it only affects this guy. It doesn't affect the other ones. So that's a really cool tool to use. But if I click on to hold on to shift, you see that now I'm doing this, and you can actually just do it multiple times to see what you want to get. And then let's say I want to change this color to be like maybe red, just for the fun of it. Watch what happens. You see, now it changes like that. So therefore, we've seen what is the color selection tool, shapes and fill. Use a text, use a brush tool, which is the brush that you already seen that before in the first workflow. But let's say like you want to like how good it is like the selection tool that you can use. Like if I want to go to say Control D to make a different selection, I'll use this guy and I'll put a circle selection like this guy over here. And then over here I'm going to use a brush tool, which is this guy. Okay, and you always have like these tools also over here. So if I use a brush tool, but I'm going to make sure that it's going to be, I don't know, maybe an orange kind of color, and press OK. I'll minimize this size. If you remember the left bracket, watch what happens. Okay, so I'm going to be in here. I'll make a new layer because I love to play with layers. Okay, and I'm going to start to brush over here. You see that there's nothing going on, but to watch what happens as soon as I go inside of this guy. So this is why we have like those selection tool, which makes it really good to make some specific in precision painting. Okay, so if I want to unselect this guy, you can go to over here, it says like selection, and just say deselect or Control D. So now you can see that effect over here. Okay, so obviously like these little tools, this is a quick way of doing things, and we're gonna probably go into more depth later on, but at least now if you missed or you didn't understand the part into the classroom, the demo, now you have something to go back and it's like, oh yes, I forgot about doing this. Don't forget the layers, how to activate the layers, and don't create them all into one layer. Use the power of Adobe Photoshop, which is the layers and the blending mode. Hopefully that helped, and good luck onto your business card project.